Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so I want to start this video out with something I want to share with you. I've kind of shared with you a while back, so I want to start off with this and then we'll get on to the video. Okay, so I may have said it in a different way, but because I'm looking at it from a different perspective now, because time has passed and I've kind of come to some, kind of settled a little bit and to a sense of realization. So a while back I said I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on the channel or if I was going to take a break or where I was going, and I want to share, I guess, why or what's shifted. Okay, so I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and I'm going back to October 15th. So on that day I made a video, uploaded it, called Expanded Vibrational Energy is Love, okay? And I believe it was that video. In fact, I'm 90% sure. So there was, if it wasn't that, it was a video after that or a couple of videos before, like a week before, but because I made a couple of videos I really liked. It was like I was finally getting to a place. I was finally getting to a place where I finally understood how to explain something. And in that video, for sure, I even say that in that video. Let's go back to it. The video Expanded Vibrational Love, and it said God loves you, is I finally expressed something that I've been trying to explain for decades. And essentially what that was, I can really whittle it down to a couple sentences here, maybe two, is that love is it's when all the molecules begin to expand, okay, and they have more space. It's when your awareness expands open, because that allows the energy inside you and around you to relax, loosen up, and expand. So the more you expand, the more you can receive, the more love, okay? So that's nurturing, healing, love energy. Whereas the opposite of that is condensed energy, and that's it. Expansive, free-flowing energy versus very condensed energy, when all the molecules and atoms and electrons are just really squished into this very small space. And that's what a laser beam is. And that's what a very male energy is, the push energy. So men will look out of the right eye because that's the external eye, whereas the left eye is the peripheral eye that opens up to receive the image. The right eye looks out. So a lot of times men will laser beam a woman because they're coming from condensed energy, from their logic. So what this does is it puts you down into your reptilian brain. The more focused, the more linear, the more narrow your vision, the further you go through your left brain and then eventually down into your reptilian brain. This is when Jesus said, "Get behind thee, Satan." So when you're in that part of your brain, you have to go into peripheral vision and open up your awareness, and then also turn it around, and that opens you up to your right brain, which is the human spiritual brain. So I'm not going to teach that right now. It's how you expand your energy and awareness. It's techniques I teach in my one-on-one coaching or in a course that I teach once in a while called Internal Awareness. So when Jesus said, "Get behind thee, Satan," that's what he was talking about. So you open up and open up to expansive energy and awareness, which opens you up to your left and your right and your lower brain. So all brains are functioning as one, which is atonement. And this begins the process of growing, of healing, of expanding spiritually. So what happens is you start to shift out of the 3D dimension. Sure, you're physically here, you have an awareness of being here, but then you start to, it's like opening a door, which is what the right brain is the open door. The left brain is literally, it's called in-the-box thinking. It's very limited, okay? The right brain is the open door to spirit and God. So when you expand your awareness, you begin to open up. And even though you're physically here, you begin to open a door and have this connection to the higher dimensions. Now, even Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about this. He talks about different dimensions. Math and science, all math does. The higher you go in math, the higher you go in science. You start learning about the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, and I'm talking mathematically, and I'm talking about scientifically and in physics. So the more you expand, the more you have connections and or awareness of a higher dimension. You get higher levels of information and understanding. So the overall lesson is condensed energy is basically, oh God, how do I say this? Is if you go really condensed, it can be evil energy, whereas expanded energy, it's open, it's soft, it's receiving, it's accepting. See, the right brain is the accepting brain. The left brain is the judgmental brain. That's what the left brain does. That's what the left brain processor does. It judges everything. So when Jesus says judge not, right? Or God says judge not, he means open up to your right brain. You know how you guys, especially in the spiritual world, we talk about duality, so you've heard that word duality. For the longest time, I didn't know what it meant. Duality is what I call the either-or mentality. It's either left or right. It's either right or wrong. That's duality. It's either A or B. And that's what the left brain processes through. And therefore, everything is a hierarchy and everything is judgmental. So people that are in that brain, like narcissists, everything is a competition. They got to beat you. They've got to be on top of you. They got to beat you down. They'll do anything to win. This is my crazy friend flying down on an adult big wheel. It's just a pretty steep hill. It's called Wolf's Grade, by the way.
I hope you guys can see it. He's right in front of me.
And he has no brakes on that thing, so he kind of swizzles back and forth, and he's got to put his feet down to stop. And a car is stopped in front of him right about now. So,
Too bad the lights are kind of. I don't know if you guys can see very well though.
So let's move on to the next section. So I have a question. Did somebody refer me to a company or place called, I think it's called Life Story or Life Stories? So they contacted me and said, hey, somebody told us about your story. They want to interview me, and they're talking about writing a book, interviewing me for quite a while and then writing a book about me. They're going to have a ghostwriter do it about my life story. Someone said my life story is very interesting about how I heal people and my background, what led me into it, etc. So if someone did that, will you please let me know who you are? I would really appreciate it. Oh yes, I almost forgot. So about that video I made on October 15th, Expanded Vibrational Energy is Love, I realized something. It felt like I came to a completion, like I was done. Like it was like you did it. Like this is why you came here. That's it. And I actually felt it after I made the video when I re-listened to it. It was like I finally accomplished what I came to the planet to accomplish. And I have to tell you, in that very moment, I just felt complete. I felt content. I felt like I was just done, like emotionally. I don't mean this in a bad way, but like it was over. Like it's like, yeah, you did it. Like, hey, that's it. And if you guys have noticed, and share with me what your experience has been. With my experience, if you've noticed, is the intensity, the drive, the focus, okay, I used to put out some videos that were just awesome, and I mean just kick ass. It was like the energy was so intense, so fast, so focused. Everything fell into place and things were just clicking. A lot of it was extremely intuitive. It was just like ABC. I had to put the pieces together. I had to explain this in a way. And a lot of people would go, wow, I never understood it in that way. And it just, to me, even that day on the 15th, I just felt like, yeah, it's done. Like for 5 years, I was just inspired. It was like I had to get this message across. I had to get you guys to understand something, to see something. And the intensity behind it was the drive. It was just, it was off the charts, and it lasted for about, I would say, 5 years. And I couldn't stop. Like, and the thing is, for a while, I was doing every single day. So in my opinion, I just don't feel my videos have been that good in the last, I would say, a month. Approximately a month now, I think it's been. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 2 months, but let me know. I know some of the videos really clicked with somebody, especially I had one very recently, last 5 days ago, so it really took off. But I will tell you this, my energy is a lot smoother. It's a lot more, I don't know what the word is, just calm. tame, neutral, comforting. I do also believe there was some kind of shift that either happened on the planet or happened with myself a few weeks ago, about a week plus ago. So maybe this is going to lead me into my next journey, or I may take this on the road. Like, who knows, maybe someone may connect with me like, hey, we got to make seminars out of this. Let's travel. Let's, do shows around the country, etc. That may happen because I feel like the platform has been set. I mean, it's all been put out there, so I can go back to it and grab it and organize it if I want to. Maybe even write a book. So what I'm doing right now is I'm really just waiting for the next inspiration. And that's one thing, and I'm going to say this, it's not a bad thing. It's a really comfortable thing. I don't have that inspiration anymore, and I don't mean that because most people, it's, oh my God, I don't have the inspiration. I don't mean it like that. This is a really good feeling. It's like for the first time in my life, I don't feel like I have to do something or I have to put something. It's literally like my life purpose has been completed. It's like I crossed the finish line and I'm kind of going, okay, well, now what? You would think it would be a very strange feeling or lost feeling, but it's not. It's just comfortable. It's kind of like I think it's a little bit of loss. Okay, like, well, where do I go now? What do I do? And the only answer is just enjoy. Okay, I have to tell you something. A thought that came to me about a week ago was like, uh-oh. Now that I'm done with my journey, do I go back? Back to God, to heaven, to the spirit world. I have nothing tying me to the planet anymore. If there was one thing I would like to do, it would be to get the seminar business off the ground and get on the road and even go to other countries like Europe and Australia and New Zealand, etc. But really set it up professionally, not just kind of this little thing. I mean, really get hundreds, thousands of people to the seminars. And travel to major cities throughout the world, especially English-speaking countries. So who knows, somebody might watch this video and hear what I'm saying, and they have the ability to set that up. So we'll see what happens in this story. All I know for right now is I feel very, very peaceful. I feel content. That's the best word. So I just feel like I'm done. I'm content. I finished the race, and now it's kind of like, well, now what? I'm going to share a little bit of my life story with you guys, a little bit, something I may not have shared, at least not in this way. Okay, so when I was a little kid, I know I shared this part, but I'm going to lead into some other stuff, I remember going to church. I could walk. I remember I could walk, so I was probably 2 years or 2.5 years old or something like that. And I remember they walked me into the little kids' room, and the picture of Jesus was right by the door, but it was all the way down. Okay, so it was about 2 feet off the ground or whatever. So I could see, like, Jesus's face was about as high as my face was. And I remember the picture was a big picture, was so low. I thought that was weird because most pictures were up about 3 or 4 feet up in the air where adults, where they can see it, maybe even higher. And I remember they said, well, this is Jesus, and Jesus walked on water, and Jesus healed people. And I remember looking at the lady like, really? Like, he healed people? And that was my life journey right there. Like, that was it. I had to find out. I mean, since I was a little kid, like, I had to know. So, like, one story my mom would tell people is that, Michael, when he was a little kid, when he could walk, he would just be gone, and we wouldn't know where he was. And the church would call, say, "Oh, he's at church today." Just so you know, he showed up on his own. Now, church was about 6 long blocks away. It wasn't right around the corner. So for a little 2.5, 3-year-old kid to walk to church, that was kind of impressive. But it was because I wanted to learn. Like, hey, man, I want to experience this healing thing. I want to, like, is this real? So I started reading my Bible at a very, very young age. I went to church all the time, and I paid attention to the stories, about Jesus and Moses and Noah and everything. And then when I got older, I studied psychology, and I just, got into energy healing and hypnosis, and like, 'cause I was on my journey, I was on my search. I wanted to know, is this real? Is this really possible? So if you guys have followed this channel long enough, I made a video about the bridge. I had this vision of this big bridge collapsing, and I said, I think it's the Golden Gate Bridge, but I wasn't sure. But I was all the way at the top of it, and the water was really blue. It's a crystal clear blue. And I think it was a week or two later when that bridge, I think it was in Missouri, got smashed over, and I thought, wow, that's what the vision was, is because the bridge completely collapsed. It completely broke through. And then I had this image of 7 over and over and over when I was at a coffee shop, Starbucks in San Francisco on California Street. And it was nighttime. It was dark, so 10, maybe 11 o'clock at night. And I kept seeing 777, or the number 7, over and over and over. And so I finally got in my car. I was like, God, I get that you're trying to tell me something about what is it. And on the way home, a semi-truck pulls up next to me. Me and that truck were the only ones on the road. And on the side of it said 777. I was like, oh God, what are you trying to tell me? And it's like, hey, take this exit. And I took the exit, went over the overpass, pulled into the gas station, and the address was it was either 777 or it was 700. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I got back on the road, went home, got up to my city, going 6-7 blocks, took a left, and said, God, if you're really telling me something, show me the number 7 again. I looked to the left, and on this old-fashioned VW bug, it was like Herbie, what was it called? Herbie the Hancock, or Herbie the Love Bug? And it was a white bug, VW bug like that, the old 70s style, and had a big, thick circle around it and a big, thick number 7 right in the middle. I was like, okay, I get it. You're trying to tell me something. So when I got home, I went on Facebook and I wrote 777 and I posted it, and people were like, what is this, is this like a challenge or some kind of like game? I was like, well, no, I think something's going to happen. They're like, what? I go, well, I'm not sure what it is. I see this big tube and there's a lot of people in there, but I think a lot of people are going to go missing. I go, it might be an airplane, but I'm not sure. And it was the very next morning, like literally the next morning. People are like, holy shit, how did you know? 777 aircraft went missing in I think it was the Indian Ocean or over that area. And this was years ago, God, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. I forget how long. And when I looked at the story, I was like, well, that's a 777 airplane. And that was the plane that went disappearing. They didn't find it. They didn't find the people. Nothing. And they still haven't. And the tube literally was like that, like the big, long, elongated tube of an airplane. Like that's exactly what it was. And it was that size, like this big tube. And I saw people in there sitting in chairs. There's a lot. I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here. So then I healed 2 people of cancer, 2 people that have been completely written off. Their doctors said, hey, there's nothing we can do here. We're really sorry. And there's a ton of stories. Go to my website at mikekollin.com or go to Spiritual Badass with 2 Ds, spiritualbadass.com. And then go to the testimonial page, and you'll see 3 different links to testimonials. There's like the video, regular, let's see, we've got energy healing testimonials, dating testimonials, and then dating testimonials, again, video. So go to the energy healing one, and you'll hear about a lot of people who I've done energy healing with. And the thing that was really kind of caught me off guard is that cancer was the easiest thing to heal. It literally took 3 sessions for both people, and I thought, wow, that's easy. And then a young lady, she hadn't had her period for 5 months, and she was really stressed and worried, and she was poor. So I was like, I'll do a couple healing sessions on you, and she, start regular now, and she's on there also. So here's a young lady that I healed from cancer, and she had sent out a couple posts saying that she was ashamed because her parents have to lift her up because she's gotten so skinny from cancer and nothing's working. And I think she'd been fighting it for like 1.5 years, 2 years. And when she posted these pictures, this is when it really caught my attention. I was like, yeah, she had lost a lot of weight. And it's what she wrote. She said, I'm so ashamed of myself because... She said because her parents had to carry her to the bathroom and, clean her up, and she said it was my job to take care of them in their old age, not the other way around. So I did some very long energy healing sessions, very intense, very focused, and it worked. It wasn't an immediate thing. I was kind of scared because I didn't really, there wasn't like a manual and like this is how you deal with cancer. But you go into this world, man, this is kind of a freaky part. Not freaky, but trippy. Stuff starts to come up. Like you start seeing different things. It could be a cave or it could be this. And like, well, what does that have to do with anything? And you start looking inside and like, oh, that cave's real mucky. So cleaning out her cave, like literally a cave, and with the energy, like she began to heal. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. So she did start getting better. I thought, okay, there's something to this. And so I'm not going to try to explain every little thing that I did, but another world kind of opens up and you see, how do I explain this? You see something else. That's all I'm going to say for right now. And I would say mostly I do it with my eyes closed most of the time, but I don't have to. So you're seeing it outside of the 3D world. Now, I have a really good example. Okay, so we have a subscriber on here who makes comments kind of a lot. So I think you guys will know who it is. Her name is Mary. And so Mary had, I'm trying to remember what she broke. I think she broke her lower back or tailbone or something. Yeah, I think it was her lower, I think it was, I forget the term, L1, L3 or whatever it was. And I think she also broke her, where the hips come together in the center. And she was in a lot of pain. So I did an energy healing session on her and it eased up the pain almost instantly. I think it literally was within a day. And she was bedridden. She was at the hospital. She couldn't get out of bed. She couldn't go to the bathroom herself. And going to the bathroom was excruciatingly painful. So I think I did a couple more, at least one more, maybe two more on her to help the healing process. And she did heal up pretty well. So she can tell you, if she sees this video, she can make a comment about the healing experience herself. So if you want to listen to people, go to my website, mikekollin.com or spiritualbadass.com. Again, that's with 2D, spiritualbadass.com. And go to the testimonial, go to the energy healing videos under testimonials. And you'll hear quite a few people, the experience that they've had. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, this is the young lady that was dying of cancer. Look at her now. That's her little baby. She's very happy. This is the young lady I was talking about. I was showing images of her when she's in the hospital, very skinny and stuff. And she's put her weight back on. She looks very good, very happy, very healthy. And the baby's very healthy too. So here's my overall message or point. My message is this. I believe my destiny wasn't necessarily go around healing everyone on the planet, but it was to show people like, yeah, this is real. This is all real. And it's just like this image here, it literally says it. Everything we've been taught, whether it's from Buddha or Jesus or Spirit or whatever, it's all real. And I think that is the generation where we're at right now, is we're realizing this is all real. And at least for me, that's all I wanted to understand. I wanted to know. I wanted to physically experience. I wanted to see it. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to know it. I wanted to heal myself. I wanted to heal others. I want to be like, is it? See, I got to be honest with you, for many years, I was like, nah. So here I was healing people, doing energy healing on people, and they're like, oh my God. And I had one guy who was a husband showed up at my door and I'm like, who's this guy? I said, I just gotta thank you and my wife this, and you have no idea what we've been through. And they talk about all the doctors they've been through and all the medicine and different healing modalities, and like nothing worked. And so here's my point, is like, for the longest time, and I mean forever, I couldn't believe. I'm like, is this real? Did I really do that? It was the weirdest thing in the world because I was very consistent. It was with 100% of the people, and it took forever for me to go, wow, I'm actually doing this. So it's all real. It's like the claircognizance, clairvoyance, All of that stuff. It's all real. And you know how you access it? Meditate. Just meditate an hour a day, 45 minutes a day. Make a commitment and do it every single day. And if you can, twice a day. And if you could do it a little bit longer on the weekends, just meditate. I promise you, you're going to start having realizations. You're going to know things and you don't know why you know them. And then they happen. You'll know things about people and you'll tell them about them. Like, oh, like one example is I met this young lady at a club. I was probably about 32 and I said, oh, you're not from the Bay Area, but you lived here most of your life. She goes, yeah. I go, you were actually born in Louisiana and you moved here when you're so many years old. She's like, well, yeah, how'd you know that? I'm like, but your mother was born in Louisiana and she's lived there her whole life. And I told her, I go, you're Catholic. No, I said, you're non-denominational Baptist, but your mother's Catholic. But your grandmother, she's from the islands, like a Jamaica or whatever, and she does that, I forget the name of that voodoo stuff, and she goes, how do you know all this stuff? Now, I had just met her. Within 5 minutes, I knew this. Do you guys remember the video of that little Indian kid? Well, kid, he was about 26 years old. When he went through his awakening, that was one of the coolest things to watch. And that's something I love to do when I'm working with men, is watching them pop open and all of a sudden see the world from the other side. Another thing I'm experiencing right now is I'm just not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid of the world or what's going to happen. And, like this whole alien thing, like normally something like that, whoa, now I'm just like, whatever. So all I'm trying to say is, number one, it's all real. It really is. And number two, everything's going to be okay. Even if it's not, I promise you it will end up being okay. Like it says here, it's not the end of the world, it's the end of the illusion. And the Bible does not say the end of the world, it says the end of times. Okay, we are shifting from the age of, which is the times of Pisces, into the age of Aquarius. We are now in the age of Aquarius. This transfer has been very rough, shifting from Pisces to Aquarius, it's kind of like giving birth. Of course it's going to be rough. And it lasted a long time. We're talking 20 plus years. So I don't know where my journey is going to end or what direction it's going to go in. If there is going to be another direction, if there is going to be another journey, I don't know. For right now, I feel like I have came to a completion. It's done. And it is possible God may say, okay, and now it's time for you to get out there in the world. So the only way that's going to happen if I can bump into someone or a group of people who can manage my business and know how to get seminars going. If that happens, then I'll get on the road. Emotions are the key to manifestation. Emotions are the key to healing. God bless you guys. I hope you find your happiness and you find your peace. Normally I would say if you want to make a donation, there's a PayPal link right there in the description box. If you like this video, click subscribe, click the like button, make a comment. And I would say I'll see you in the next video. And I probably will make some videos. I just don't think it's going to be as intense and as focused and upbeat and just driven like before. Something's changed in me, and maybe this is a good thing. We'll see where this leads. Maybe my videos would just come across with a completely different energy and a different tone, and maybe that's all it is. So for right now, this is where I'm at, and hopefully I'll see you guys in another video soon. Alright, God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Bye.